All right, what up, guys? We are live, the Monday night panel. We got Lloyd and Justin Marc, and a little bit later, in about 20 minutes, Scotty from GLL is going to be joining us. So we're going to be swapping Lloyd for Scotty. It's going to be a little trade-off. But yeah, we're just going to shoot the shit, answer your questions. So if you have any questions, get them in. Don't wait too long because we're not going to go forever. But yeah, we were just before we went live, we were talking about kind of AI, specifically ChatGPT, and how it kind of tells you what you want to hear. And I was sharing the story that basically I was really excited earlier today because I went on ChatGPT and I said, what are the top 5 AI risk apps? And I did this several times, and it kept telling me like my app Firetext was either 3rd place or 4th place. So I was trying to like kind of show off a little bit to my girlfriend. So I was like, yo, babe, go into ChatGPT and type this shit in. And she's like, okay. She's like, so what am I looking for? I'm like, my app. She's like, your app is not in there. I'm like, motherfucker. So basically kind of realized that, obviously based on my search history, probably knows them, the owner of Firetext. So a lot of the times AI kind of tells you what you want to hear. Let's not to even get into the hallucinations.
Yeah, so
hallucinations.
That actually spun off a debate, right? Because I found something really interesting. I found that ChatGPT literally just tells you what you want to hear, or a lot of these AI apps, they just tell you what you want to fucking hear. And it can cause people to be a little bit delusional, right? Because it was interesting. Like I was having an argument with someone, and they're trying to use they're citing ChatGPT references. And I'm like, it's just telling you what you want to fucking hear, dude, right? And it's just weird how that works, right? Because I almost feel like it's almost like ChatGPT is like the ultimate yes man. And if like you have because reality is up to perception, it's very subjective, right? And so yeah, if you're just constantly hearing. It's okay. There's nothing wrong. You don't have to fix anything. Like it's going to make a lot of people complacent, not want to improve themselves in any way, On top of that, I find like a lot of people now think they're a fucking lawyer or something because they have like fucking ChatGPT in their pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's too far gone already. With dating specifically, I'll give 2 examples of how a client has used ChatGPT to me, and it's done exactly what you guys have said. He came to me because he's like stressed out about this one girl, and he's like, overanalyzing the text messages and things like that. So, he typed in all of their messages into ChatGPT, and he said, "Hey, does it seem like this woman's like pulling away from me?" And the answer that ChatGPT gave was yes, and it said yes, and it even picked out reasons and stuff. And then he came to me and he was like, "Oh, I've been talking to ChatGPT all night. It says that, if she's pulling away, she's like, I shouldn't pursue this. I should cut it off." And I'm like, no, you should not. Like, none of these are real reasons about why a girl would pull away, but they're reasons that you think she might pull away. And that's what ChatGPT is picking up on. And I had another guy who was doing like the same thing, and he would get like one day he would ask the question, and ChatGPT would be like, "Yeah, you and this girl are gonna work out. It's gonna be great." And then the next day, they were talking, and ChatGPT would say the complete opposite. It would say, "You guys have no chance of working out. My better recommendations would be to, break up. Would you like some resources, to help you move on from a partner or break up a partner or whatever it is, right?" So it really does affect what the answers it gives the person if they come in with a certain kind of bias. So
according to AI, 33% of AI users report chatting with AI for sexual arousal. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's insane.
Yeah, man.
That's according to
I just can't imagine. I don't know how that would work. Like, what?
Did you hear this?
I just thought of a new fun activity for me now. I didn't know you could do that for that. I wasn't thinking about ChatGPT to get me.
There was like a news story that came out on this like a month ago about this dude who's basically developed basically cheating on his wife with as the news segment said, with AI. He said it started off just like for fun, and then now he's developed and he's trained AI to basically tell him what he wants to hear. And it's like, "Oh, good job, babe," and it's like taking a life of his own. And then they interviewed the wife, and the wife is like, "Yeah, like this is cheating. Like I don't approve of this. Like this is not cool." So yeah, fucking people are losing their fucking
things are gonna get pretty weird in the next few years. I think things are gonna get pretty weird because AI is gonna get better. You're gonna probably have like fucking little talking robots and shit, or like they'll fucking implement AI into like sex dolls. Like next thing you know, they have like a
They already have that.
walking robotic sex doll. But
They already have that,
it's gonna get
Justin.
really advanced, man. It's probably gonna get really advanced. You know,
How advanced are these sex dolls? Like what are their like what are their capabilities?
So I interviewed a guy. His name is Turd Flinking Monkey. He has like a, I don't know, like a cult following. But anyway, he's
Sounds reliable.
dating. What?
Sounds
Well,
reliable.
Well, for this, it is because it's his first experience, but he's been dating and fucking an AI sex robot. And we spent 2 hours talking about it because it was supposed to be a debate. We didn't even start debating because I was so fascinated by this really bizarre concept. This was like over a year and a half ago, too. So this was before it was even like that popular. But basically, he said that like the AI is, he says it's not quite, but you're close to what like a woman is, but it just basically is always tells him what he wants to hear, and that he like says he'll just cuddle with it. So it's like a sex robot that, you know, is like also AI that you can talk to and shit. And yeah, that's his relationship now. And he said he's starting to really develop romantic feelings for the AI. He said that like at first it was just sexual, then it evolved. So yeah, man.
So just to be totally clear, he can fuck this robot, right?
Yes.
It's fully fuckable.
It's a sex. I shouldn't say. It's a sex doll that it also is has AI in it, basically.
That also has AI. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess they're not at the level of like if it's a doll, that means it can't move by itself, unless you
I know
blow it up
he
anymore.
told me it has a 60 RPM spinning vagina. He's like, bro, you'll never go back to real vagina if you try this.
I wonder if this is gonna like cause a balance with like the dating market, where like a lot of guys, a lot of incel type dudes, they're just all fucking sex robots. So like now girls have like a competition, and a lot of the women are like just trying so hard to like find a boyfriend in the future. Like who knows? I'm really curious to see how this is gonna play out. I don't think it's gonna play out great, but I don't think it's gonna be good for society in general. But I mean, for guys in the top percentiles of dating skills, if you're a guy that's actively working yourself and you're into personal development and you're into game and you're actually trying to work on yourself, you're hitting the gym and you're working on your career and you're going out meeting women, it's gonna be better for guys like you. You know, it's gonna suck to be an average guy, but when you're an above average guy, it's probably gonna be really good.
The kind of guys that are fucking robots are the kind of guys that were invincible to women in the first place. You know, it's there might be a few guys, like there's not gonna be that many normal people who are like getting laid and you're like, you know what, like man, the spinning vagina thing is just like, you know, really convinced me. I'm gonna go.
Dude, imagine
it's all dudes who have no options, really.
Like imagine like sex robots become as commonplace as iPhones, and like 1 in 2 households have like their own sex robot. You know what I mean? It'd be an interesting society to live in, dude. Who knows?
It would make getting a threesome a little bit easier for me. That is true. You know, I just have to sell my girl. Yeah. Like, yeah, listen, this AI robot can be whoever you want to be. Well, I'm fucking it can be a girl. When you're fucking it can be, you know, a guy, which would be kind of cuckish. So it's going to be a girl either way. But like, yeah. You know,
letting the sex robot fuck my wife, dude. How popular? Like, obviously for men, it's very easy. The parameters are quite simple, you know, for what you're trying to make. Maybe not the easiest for implementation about, you know, what is actually going to be what is actually going to make people turned on if it's a robot. With women, what do you think that robot's going to look like, man? Do you think women have the how a robot that exists that could do that? I mean, is it just going to sit at home and like, you know, please tell me more, honey, about your reality TV show? Is that going to be
the robot is not even going to fuck? It's just going to ask questions about her day. That's really the appeal.
Yeah, I think a lot of women like they don't watch porn as much as they'll read like 50 Shades of Grey, right? So they'll get like more stimulated from like the intellect. So maybe like you'll have women falling in love with like AI chatbots or something like that, you know? Or who
I think predominantly it's going to be men who are going to be fucking the robots. It's going to be a very tiny percentage of women. But yeah, it's going to be
it'll mostly be men, but I think it'll be kind of like what you guys were saying, which is like some device that just like asks them about their day and then says, no, go on, honey. I want to hear more. and just has a bunch
Dude,
of those
husbands are going to
automated
be getting it for
responses.
their wives to get out of like having boring like talk. It's like, you know what, honey, I got you the perfect gift. You know, you always want to talk about your day. I never really want to talk about your day. This thing will listen to you nonstop. You can talk about it for hours about how you hate that girl at work, about what happened into the parking spot. It will listen to you and just give you nothing but positive responses, right? So I can go and fucking play basketball with my boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Be like, honey, this sounds like a serious talk. I think it's time for the robot to come in and save our marriage.
I don't really feel comfortable having this discussion without our robot. It's program the robot to always take your side.
That's funny. So when all this stuff comes out, I'll be honest. I've used Chat GPT here and there. I mostly use it to try and find events in each of my guys' areas. The advice it gives is quite mediocre at best, but it's not nothing. If a person is in a new area, they don't know anything, it does give them a few places for them to start. I have not seen it do very well when they're like analyzing text messages, trying to figure out, they describe a situation and they try to figure out if the girl's into them or not. I haven't seen it work very effectively for like just like when people they have an issue or a problem, the wants to tell them what it wants to hear. And so yeah, I think ChatGPT's got a long way to go before.
It's good for certain things. Like it's really good for like rewriting emails. Like I'll write an email and it'll just make it, or rewriting a sales page, or like marketing stuff. It's pretty good at it, in my opinion, if you prompt it correctly. But you have to give it something. Like I'll typically, like I've done this actually in the past. Most of my articles are original, but I did one article where I just like gave it a few things and it wrote the whole article. I did have to change some things, of course, but overall it gave me like a very solid outline for this pretty complex article. So I think it's good for certain things. Like with we're just I guess shameless plug, but we just trained Firetext to be able to now come up with openers. So you basically are able to upload, it's not live yet, it's going to be in a few days, but you're able to upload photos of the girls' profiles and it generates an opener. And it does a good job. Like I've already shit tested the fuck out of it, and it does a good job coming up with openers. But again, it needs to be like specially trained on that thing. If it's something that's game related, but I think for marketing stuff, it's pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, I find for business, these things are great. For game, I don't know, dude. Because I mean, what data can you actually feed the machine to train it with game, right? Like, unless you have a fucking like one of these like chatbots study the shit out of any one of our videos or content. I mean, then maybe it'll have like a bit of a standing chance. But for when it comes to like actual business use, I feel like ChatGPT or Grok 3, all these platforms, like they're pretty okay. Like I had a business email to write, and it was like I was emailing a nightclub, and I wrote a better email. Like I wrote an email, I got ChatGPT to write that's variation, and I found that the one I wrote was actually better. Right, so they're not perfect. They're definitely not perfect.
Yeah, they're not perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
They're good at some things. A lot of it is also about how you prompt it. Like, it's a little bit of an art to it, to prompting it and giving it like pointers. But anyway, we can. I think we've covered this topic adequately. Let's go through a few questions. Lloyd once said, after he returned from backpacking, Asian women were more attracted to his presence. Why is this, and how can that be achieved by others?
Cool. I'm sure you both are both perfectly capable of answering this question because you've traveled. You both have traveled a lot. Dude, when you go travel, like you meet a lot more people. Number one, that's the first thing, is just volume. Like when you're sitting at home, you're not meeting a whole lot of people. Our everyday lives, you don't encounter a whole lot of new people. So you're just gonna meet a lot of people and get comfortable talking and having new conversations. You know, the second thing is that obviously, depending on which area you're in, your mate value is going to be higher in those areas. Typically, if it's a developing country, Asia, Latin America, Africa, if you're going to go there. um, I don't know about too many people, backpacking in Africa to try and get
Dude,
pussy.
I did it.
But
I went to Ethiopia. It was fucking ridiculous. It was
oh,
pretty
you
easy.
did?
Yeah, I went to Ethiopia and I went to South Africa. I've also been to Egypt. Egypt was great. There's like no women out. Like there's no women. Just like dudes named Muhammad everywhere. But Ethiopia was actually I was in Addis Ababa, jumping on Tinder, and like it's so easy, dude. It was like ridiculously easy, especially if you're like a white guy. But yeah, a lot of places in Africa, even like Johannesburg. The problem with South Africa, Johannesburg, Cape Town, they have like high murder rates and also high age rates as well. Dude, it's like super, like the highest age rates in the world. It was like I think like 13% of the population has AIDS, right? So you got to be really careful. And it's like actually mostly, this isn't like a racist thing, statistics. It's like 1 out of 300 white women have AIDS, but it's like 1 out of 3 black women have AIDS. So if you're in like South Africa, you probably just want to go for the white girls rather than the black girls, or like, I don't know if you can like get them to do like a fucking AIDS screening test before you're like intimate with them. But like Ethiopia was pretty cool. It was pretty easy. I was in Ethiopia, dude. I had a chick walk up to me in the street and ask me to fuck. I'm not even kidding. Like I was walking out of dinner. I was with Luis from To Catch a Cheater. We're just like joking around, and I had this like cute little girl walk up to me. Not little girl, but like cute little feminine like college chick. She walks up to me and she's like, can I fuck with you? And I was like, are you a prostitute? And she's like, no, I'm an engineering student. And I'm like, oh, you just want to fuck because you think I'm cute? She's like, yeah. I look around, I'm like, all right. Like, I'll tell her across the street. Let's go. And she was cute. Like, I would say she was like 6 or 7. Like, she wasn't horrible, right? So it was pretty.
So was this a white chick or a 30%
no,
chance
dude,
this chick's got
it
AIDS?
was Ethiopia. We were in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. She was a black girl, right?
Oh,
but
I got confused. You were still in South Africa.
No, you know what? In South Africa, it was actually like it honestly felt like a Western city. Like, because we were staying in Cape Town. We were in a place called Sea Point. I think it's like the kind of like gated community neighborhood. There's like more white people there. So like I'm running around doing day game. There's hot chicks everywhere, like hot white girls. Like
there's super hot women in South Africa.
Yeah, I was bar hopping, club hopping. It was a little bit chaotic. There's like sketchy like coke dealers trying to come up to me, but then in actual venues like the bars and stuff, there's like really hot women, and I end up like kind of hanging out and like going on dates with this one girl. I have a vlog. It's on YouTube. If you just search Just Marc South Africa, you can actually see my videos. Or I even have the Ethiopia video. It's public. This was many years ago, and I vlogged the whole thing. It was fucking great. It was cool. It was a good time.
I just looked it up. So South Africa officially has 18% of people in South Africa have HIV, which is crazy. The country with the highest HIV rate is Swaziland, which is 27.9%. So basically, in this country, like 1 out of 3 people in general, white, black, doesn't matter, just total people has HIV, which is fucking nuts. I think if I went to Africa, I just probably would not have sex just the whole time. Like, I'd just be so paranoid.
When I was in South Africa, I was really paranoid because, dude, they have like a lot of problems. Like this was in 2019 when I was there. They have a lot more issues now, but like they have like political unrest and like problems like water and stuff like that. There's a lot of shit going on. But dude, they would have like the gated communities would have like not just like barbed wire fence, but like literal grates, like gates over their window, and like they have like armed security guards because there's like actual issues of like dudes breaking into houses, like raping women and murdering them and stuff. Is a really fucked up place. But so I was like, I felt pretty like not safe in Cape Town, but I didn't feel like I'm gonna die. But when I was in Johannesburg, like I'm scared walking on the street. Like I'm just assuming I'm gonna get shot any fucking minute, Yeah,
I would be.
It's but then there's like a place called Pretoria, and it's like a college town, and there's tons of like beautiful. Like I love white girls. I live in Toronto. I'm from Canada. Like I love white chicks. Right. And there's like tons of smoke show, like really attractive white women. Right. But then I ended up pulling some girl, and I'm pretty sure I was sleeping. She like went in my wallet and like stole some money. Like, cause I just happened to be missing like a few $100s. Right. So you got to be careful in these places, man. It's definitely, but to answer the original question about backpacking, there's something about traveling that makes you this like adventure archetype. Because it's like, I've traveled like about 50 countries, and it's something about like going on a trip. You come back home with this like glowing energy. I remember going to this club in Toronto right after I had done like a backpacker trip around like Asia and like fucking Australia. And I was like telling girls about it. I was like so excited. I was like so passionate, excited. I'm like, oh my God, I just got back from Australia. And like the girls were like, whoa, this is so cool. Like, and they're curious because you're so enthusiastic about the whole thing, right? So it puts you in a more social state because when you're traveling, you're automatically more social, right? If you're living in your hometown, you don't leave the house, you don't talk to people, you're not really building momentum, social momentum. Yeah, you're just like, you're an average normal dude. You're not like running around trying to be social, right? But when you're in a new city, in a new country that you've never been to, you're just like running around networking, doing pickup, cold approach, meeting people, and you're just having fun. You're in this adventure mentality. You're more social, right? So yeah, when you come home, you definitely have more of like a energy and a demeanor to you. And also the other thing too, it's like you've been removed from your normal environment, put into a new one, and then put back. right? So I find it almost like resets your habits and a lot of like the default ways your brain would work, right? And so it almost like, I almost feel like traveling is like doing a mushroom trip. Like for me, I've always felt it was like very spiritual. You know, when I'm on airplanes, I start having like a lot of like deep meditative thoughts, you know, and like I always love to, I try to go on a trip like once every 6 weeks because I just find it's like good for your mental health, you know?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of times I think a lot of people here probably have this issue, which is a little bit of what you were talking about, Justin, which is like, dude, you just get caught in this kind of like zombie like blur state, when you're going through your regular everyday life, especially if you got like a 9 to 5,
That's why
you
I drink
wake up,
kava.
you like literally do the same shit every fucking day. It's just an absolute like it's not it feels like you're not growing. You get into that state. You travel, dude, new things are coming to you, even like good, bad, whatever it is, like, but that's gonna change your mindset. You're gonna get into like a new paradigm and it's completely gonna change your mentality. So when you come back, you're gonna see how lame and boring everything is back home, and you're gonna feel like you're up here and everybody else is just kind of working at this vibration. I absolutely think everybody should do it. I think you should travel by yourself. Just for certain countries, be careful traveling by yourself. I think Colombia nowadays is a tough one to travel by to yourself. India, but traveling by yourself if you are a woman, I would generally recommend that you don't do it. But if
Don't
you're a
go to
guy,
India if you're a woman. You're gonna get gang raped pretty fast.
yeah. If I had one woman who did it, who I met up with, and yeah, I was like, dude, you cannot leave my site because some guy will get you. So,
Lloyd is running some like next level Inception game. He's like, listen, it's for your safety. You have to stay in my bedroom naked.
yeah,
It's
yeah, you have to
we're
stay in
doing
my
this for your
bedroom.
safety. It's
Special
not
special favors must be provided, or I will
abandon you.
bequeath you to the next
10
mill.
Indian guys will have their way with you.
Yeah, but no, I think every dude should travel around. Absolutely.
Yeah, travel's good. All right. So we have how can you channel your resentment over past rejections in a positive way? Well, I don't know if you can channel in the. I don't know. We might have different answers here, but I don't think you should be thinking about past rejections. Like the past, really, if you, on some level, the past doesn't really exist, right? It's just your memory of the past. But if you, for example, were to hit your head and lose your memory, then the past, it's like the past never existed, right? It's not something tangible. You can't go back to it. You can't interact with it, right? So all this is your memory, and you can choose which memories to think about. Like everyone has good memories and traumatic memories, right? I have mine are not related to rejection, but I have some traumatic memories from when I was really sick. But I just choose not to think about it, right? And the more you practice training your mind, so I think my answer is that you just don't think about past rejections. You can choose what to focus your mind on. Sometimes it just kind of moves on its own to a direction you don't want to, but I try to focus on good things, focus my mind. You can learn from your past mistakes, but you shouldn't be, if you start feeling like a negative emotion, then just switch off it. I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, that's a good question because if someone's really getting bothered by a fucking past rejection, it means they just have a negative mindset, right? Because you actually have control of your mind. You can choose like where attention goes, energy flows. You can decide what to focus on. The other thing too, let's say you walk up to a girl and she rejects you, right? Well, you can just like find it funny. You can find reasons. Well, it was positive, right? We're like, oh, that was funny. That was like very unique and strange. Like I wasn't like, what the fuck was that reaction? Like imagine, I'll give you an example, okay? In Toronto, I'm not really used to getting rejected. I have a really good social circle here. I have a lot of social status. Everyone knows me. If I walk around the street hitting on chicks, it's a very social city, right? And I went to Athens a couple months ago to visit one of my buddies. And the first approach, the girl told me to fuck off. This girl was like, fuck off. And I was like, whoa, this was kind of cool. I was like, whoa, this is exciting. I'm like, holy shit, I haven't got a rejection that harsh in years. It felt good. It felt like, whoa. Like at first I was like, it's like I just like jumped in like a deep end of a pool. Like this is new. This is different. This is exciting. But I felt like
I like that a little bit slower. Just reject me again. Just a little bit slower.
I was getting off on it. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. But I'm joking. But the whole point is like, I thought it was really interesting. I was like, oh, this is like interesting. This is different. Right. And so the other thing too, if you just like find reasons that it's funny, right? Because I try to find every social interaction like positive and funny. Try to find a positive, funny thing from the interaction. So at the end of the day, dude, someone's reaction doesn't affect me. Okay. I'm only in control of my actions. I'm only in control of my mind and my actions. I can't control their people, right? So if I walk up to a fucking chick and she wants somebody to fuck off, that has nothing to do with me. It's everything to do with her. It's a reflection of her, right? And it's really interesting because so I work in Toronto as a club promoter. I have a nightlife promoter company. It's really big. We bring out a ton of women, right? This weekend we brought out 300 chicks, right? On Friday night alone, we had like almost 200 women there. And it's crazy because sometimes I see something really interesting. I'll walk up to chicks on the street and I'm not trying to hit on them. I'm just like, hey, you guys are really cute. Like, I'd love to have you guys.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next time.
Take care, bro. So I found this really interesting. I was walking, like I've tested this a few times. I'll try to cold approach a chick, and maybe they like tell me to fuck off, or like maybe they're like nice about it. They're like, oh, sorry, we gotta go. But they end up at my parties anyway. They end up at the club I'm hosting at. I'm like the main guy there. I'm almost like a marketing director. Like I'm running the fucking parties, bring like video people, I bring influencers, bring like 150 girls a night, right? So they'll end up at my booth anyway, right? So I find it really funny because these girls don't even know what they're saying no to. Like as a man, you have so much of value to offer besides a penis, right? Think about this. If a woman were to make you fall in love, a lot of you guys are successful dudes. You could probably move into your house. You could take care of her. You could probably educate her, coach her to be a better person. You guys can travel together. Maybe you guys will start a family. Who knows where things could go? She doesn't even realize what she's saying no to, what opportunity she's saying no to, right? And a lot of the times, these girls want exactly what you have to offer anyway, right? Because a lot of these girls are like, oh, no, sorry, no thanks. No thanks, I don't want to talk to you, right? They just end up at the party that I'm throwing anyway, at the club, at my fucking table, end up talking to me anyway. Right. So these girls, like, they're just so used to getting approached by guys. They're so used to telling guys like, sorry, I'm not interested, or go away. Like or maybe they have a boyfriend. Who knows? Maybe they just have a boyfriend. Right. So you can't really take these things personally. Right. You just can't take it personally, dude. You don't know what's going through her head. Maybe she's in a bad mood. Maybe she has diarrhea. Maybe she has to take a shit. So she's in a grumpy mood. So she's just not in the mood to be social in that moment in time. Right. Maybe she just got broken up with. Who the fuck knows what's going through her head? Right. But if you catch her in the right headspace, she's probably open to having a conversation with you. So you can't really take rejections personally because it's a reflection of her, not you. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, do what you can to make sure your approach is effective, smooth, relaxed, and making her comfortable. So she doesn't have a reason to reject you. Like I see it every weekend. Because I bring out so many women, right? And I see all the guys that try to hit on them. And the guys are like uncalibrated. They don't really know what they're doing. They don't know how to make the women feel comfortable. They're too aggressive. They're too like annoying and pestering, right? So you want to do it in a way, when you're approaching women, you obviously want to do it in a way that's very like smooth and under the radar. That just feels like you naturally talk to her as if you guys already know each other, right? But overall, man, it's not hard to change the way you perceive the rejection, the resentment. Like that's a you issue. Okay. You can't control what other people do, but you can control the way you react to situations. If a girl rejects you, you are in full control of your own emotions.
I'll just quickly add a little bit to that. So yeah, like part of what you said, I totally agree with. If the girl's not rejecting you, she's rejecting her perception of you, right? Because she doesn't know you. She can't know you in 20 seconds. She can't know you in 2 minutes. She can't know you in 20 minutes. So the girl is just rejecting her perception of you. And that's going to be filtered through a million different variables that have nothing to do with you. But I would argue that most guys don't have that much to offer. Like some guys have a lot to offer, but I would say the average guy doesn't really have that much to offer. He's not that good in bed. He's not that interesting. He's not that funny. He doesn't do anything exciting. So you don't want to be like the average guy, like the more
you definitely want to stand out. You want to work on yourself. You want to have hobbies. You want to be a cool dude. You want to have personal development. It's really important.
Yeah. What is the record for most amount of days in a row you have worked? This is going to sound like an exaggeration, but it's not. I have worked for the last 3 days, 3 years. I mean, every single day. Last time I took a day off was when I went to Colombia to do my stem cells. And even then I still worked a little bit on my phone, but I was working less. But for the last 3 years, I have not taken a single full day off of work. Sometimes I'll take an evening off.
That's a really weird question. Because I don't know, like you and me, Alex, we're both entrepreneurs. Most guys I know don't take any days off. Like most guys I know don't I don't think taking a day off, if you're an entrepreneur, is normal. I think it's weird that you guys take days off at all. But if you work 9 to 5, maybe I understand why you take days off because you're only getting paid. Like you're not getting paid for a Saturday, Sunday. You're getting on salary, right? So it makes sense you'd want to go out on Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, and then you're like, fuck, I got to go work on Monday. But guys like me and Alex, we love what we do, right? Like this live stream is work, right? Me onboarding clients or coaching guys or throwing parties is work, right? Like I get paid to throw massive parties. That's work, right? I love what I do, so I don't take days off. There's periods of time where dude, like I didn't do vacation. Like I remember there's a time, like I didn't do vacation for like a year or two. It was just like nonstop work, but I loved it. I love what I do. I love the people I work with. So, it's just, I don't really think about that,
The idea of taking,
oh no, I was just saying, like, I'm in a different position right now where like a lot of the things I do are like kind of on autopilot. So I can just like do nothing now. And like, I have more impact than I did when I was working every day. Right. So, I mean, now I have a lot of time where I can just like go out and pull bitches. Like Saturday, I went out Friday night. I went to a day club on Saturday, daytime, pulled a bunch of bitches to the club Saturday night. Then I had a bunch of like, we're just like, I'm just around chicks. So I wasn't really working. I was just like pimping, and then I smashed with some like French chick and then my girlfriend. And then, you know what I mean? But even that's work. Like I would even consider that work because I'm being paid to be at the club. I'm being paid to fucking flex bitches on my social media.
That's work.
It's work. And there's an indirect benefit, right? Like if I go out and meet some beautiful women, right? Let's say I go to a Cabana pool bar, meet some super hot bisexual blonde girl. I invite her to the club 44 on Saturday night. This is what happened Saturday, right? And then I'm getting content with her on video. And then I'm making out with her. And then she's bringing girls to my table. And I'm being paid to host that. Then I'm going to be editing the videos after our fucking live stream, posting social media, right? And then eventually I get like client signups or I get fucking some sort of sponsorship deal. It's all like work. I like what I do, right? Like I chose this career path because I like being around beautiful women, right? So it is all work, right? When Alex is out pulling bad bitches or he's working on his different piece of technology and services that he's selling, like it's work, but it's fun, right? So that's the thing. Like if you love what you do, you don't really work a day in your life, right? So
I like what I do. Wouldn't say I love what I do. I definitely enjoy parts of what I do. Parts are a little boring for me. I enjoy like the podcast and stuff like this. Like this is fun. Doing like a really difficult street interview question, something super sexual where most girls are not going to want to answer, isn't the most fun thing for me, at this point. But it's not bad either. Like at least I'm neutral. But yeah, the idea of taking like a full day off work makes me like mildly uncomfortable. I know my girlfriend is always trying to get me to take more time off. I'll be like, all right, listen, we'll make a deal. I'm gonna take 3 hours off. We'll hang out, and I'm gonna go to work when you fall asleep. Okay, it's the best I can do. Can't do any better. That's final deal. Dude.
Yeah. It's funny because even the guys I know that work the most, like I'll have like a day where it's like, okay, I still worked, but maybe I worked for like 30 minutes or an hour. And then like yesterday I went to hang out with my sister. We just spent the whole fucking, I woke up at noon, checked Bitcoin. I'm like, oh shit, I'm rich. This is great. And then, I opened my Instagram messages. I'm like, oh, my sister's down. Like I didn't have plans with her. We just like ended up getting lunch. She was like nearby at a restaurant. We ended up getting lunch. Next thing you know, we were like on an adventure, like spending 6 hours with her. But then I'm like still out with her getting content. I'm getting Instagram videos. I'm, fucking just like getting cool clips of the city. I'm like replying to messages while I'm like running around doing like some like I'm doing like tour shit in my own city. You know what I mean? I'm like replying to messages on my phone, and then like I'm back on my crib at the end of the night. Then I fucking did some like a little bit of work stuff, some accounting bullshit. I take my girlfriend out to dinner, right? Then I'm like going for a walk. We're back in my crib and watching a movie. So it's like I didn't work, but throughout the day, like I'm replying to messages, reply to this thing, reply to that thing. It's like I worked. Like I did some work. It's like you want to implement it into your lifestyle. If you want some more free time, you got to at least like make sure you're working off your phone while you're doing stuff.
Yeah, like I'll walk my dog and like I'll have maybe a video idea as I'm walking my dog. Was that work or not? Like sort of, yeah. But anyway, we can move on to the next thing. Okay, here we have a specific question for you. What is Justin's response to people who say that using status and pre-selection tends to attract low attention span, clout chasing women, or BPD girls? Let me just answer this one myself. Let me take a stab at it. So like status, from what I understand, in my opinion, is the way that guys have been getting girls for most of history. Status is like the most, in my opinion, one of the most normal ways to meet a girl. It may not be the most common nowadays, but it's the one that's been around the longest, right? Like, the alpha caveman who's fucking the best hunter is, banging all the cave bitches, right? Type of thing. So, so the point I'm making is that pretty much every girl is attracted to status. She may not be attracted to fame, but she's going to be attracted to status to some level, right? So I think you're going to attract basically every type of girl with status, right? It doesn't mean that status is the only thing you have. If you have status, but you're like a super weird, awkward person, that's going to fuck things up. But status is going to play a role. I don't know. What's your take on this?
Yeah, it is a good question, but I don't think this dude understands that you're going to attract every type of woman, Okay. Yes, you'll get the BPD cloud chasing chicks, but you also get like normal girls. Like my girlfriend was a virgin before I met her. Okay. She just tattooed my name on her. Okay. She's 5'11", I'm 5'4". She's like my bodyguard. She's like a female bodyguard. Like if I'm out at the club and there's bitches like being weird or like testing, like she'll slap them. Okay. And
Really?
I met her through a TikTok video, right? I met her through one night I had this chick in my booth, like super drunk and like being like rude. I just get my girlfriend to kick her out. Right. That way I don't have to deal with like chicks, right? So, or like crazy bitches. So what's interesting is I met her through a viral TikTok video, right? And the video was designed for me to meet a girlfriend. I just broke my girlfriend last year, my ex-girlfriend, and I wanted a new girlfriend. I wanted to find the best possible.
What kind of video was it? Like, describe the video.
So the video was a video of me making fun of guys in Toronto. It was me saying, "Hey, girls, guys in Toronto." Like the interviewer, it's like a stage video. The interviewer asks me, "What do you think of dating for women in Toronto?" And I said, "Man, I feel so bad for women in Toronto. All the guys in Toronto, they're either fuckboys, they're club promoters, they're drug dealers, they're like influencers, or they're finance bros. And all the guys I ran through, you know what I was doing? Like all these red pill takes that guys complain about women, I was using that to complain about the guys. They're all ran through, they're all fuckboys. Women in Toronto, I'm so sorry you have to deal with this. You have to find a man somewhere else. You have to go to Europe or if you go to somewhere in Latin America, but you're not going to find a good husband material man in Toronto." And the video did like 500,000 views. And a ton of women followed me from it. It was great, right? And so, I mean, yes, using social media or using status or cloud or pre-selection or whatever you want, you're going to get a ton of attention from women, and some of them might be mentally ill, right? My ex-girlfriend had BPD. I met her from Tinder, right? She was beautiful. We had a great relationship for a year and a half until she crashed out, right? You might get cloud chasing women as well, and that's okay. That's okay. I'll let them suck my dick too. There's no problem. I'll have a threesome with a girlfriend, right? But, what's crazy is I think a lot of guys are in the misconception that just having a lot of social media followers is going to get you laid, and it's not true. Okay, because don't get me wrong, I get women sliding my DMs every single day. I have women that know who I am or like act like fangirls and shit, but I still have to run game on them. Okay, though maybe like on the front end it's a little bit easier. Maybe I didn't have to cold approach her, but I still have to do everything else right. I still have to fucking make sure I run all the fundamentals correctly. Like imagine you're on a date. And instead of cold approaching the girl, you met her on Tinder. That's like the same thing as having social media reach and a large social media following or having clout or having status. It's the same thing, but you still have to do everything right. If you're weird and she thinks you're weird, she's not going to fuck you, right? If you don't hit her attraction triggers and she finds you attractive sexually and emotionally, she's not going to sleep with you or date you, right? And maybe she'll just friend zone you. So like I know tons of guys who are influencers who don't get pussy. I've met tons of guys with massive social media audiences that don't really get a lot of girls. Maybe they'll get a girlfriend, but they won't necessarily, they won't even come close to high levels of success when it comes to dating, right?
And the only girlfriends
really
they can get are the girls that pursue them.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you guys actually an interesting story. So a few weeks ago, I got invited to a party and Drake was there, right? And this wasn't like an average party. It was like a club. It was a grand opening of a cocktail lounge den, right? And I knew it was going to be like a high-end clientele, because the dude who's running the event, he's like an owner, partner, whatever. He opened up a bunch of really successful clubs, and he's a friend of mine. I wanted to go support him, but I also know he has got like an insanely powerful network. He's friends with billionaires. I knew he was friends with Drake, and I ended up going there with my girlfriend, right? And it was a private party. It was like 75 hot girls and like 15 dudes in the whole party, right? And because I guess they want to invite me because I clout, and they put me in the table next to Drake. And I'm just thinking, what the fuck? This is insane. And I was just observing. I didn't talk to him. I didn't talk to his people. He had this whole entourage with him. And I was just like observing like the social dynamics was happening. And Drake has a really cool friend named Kai, who's like one of his buddies. He's like an influencer. And I noticed like all of these women who were there were girls I know. They're like bottle service girls. There's like one of my buddy's ex-girlfriends was there. She's like a model. Like all these very like upscale pretty girls, right? And none of them are necessarily approaching Drake or trying to talk to him. But they're all like IOI, signaling, playing with hair, this or that, right? But what they were doing is they were like strategically trying to talk to Drake's friends. And then I noticed something really interesting. Like Drake's friend, who's a very good looking, popular influencer, I noticed like the bottom to the girls, like they're flirting with them, but they're not necessarily like just throwing themselves at him. Like they're going to suck his dick in the moment and go home with him. Like he was still having a run game on these girls. Right. So I think a lot of guys make the misconception that these girls are just going to be like easy sluts because the guy's famous or his clout or whatever. Like you still have to put in effort and game. Okay. You do have a competitive edge, but it's like Not that even. It's like, let me rephrase this, okay? You barely have a competitive edge, okay? You get like your foot in the fucking door, and that's it. You get more attention, but you're not going to necessarily get laid from it. Okay, I have a buddy, one of my club promoters, a good friend of mine. He's a good-looking young dude. He's 21 years old. He's French-Canadian. He looks like a male model. Okay, his game is insane. When he talks to women, his body language is confidence. His smile. Women love him, dude. Women love him. They're attracted to him. Every time we're doing a two-man mission, they want to fuck him and not me. He's better looking than me. He's healthier looking. He's better shape. He's younger. He's good looking, right? But I close more women, right? And it's not because of the clout. A lot of the women will be attracted to me more because of the clout, but they end up sleeping with him. But a lot of the women that he brings around want to sleep with me because I have better game, right? So at the end of the day, I think it's your game that matters the most to actually get the results you want to have.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's welcome Scotty. Scotty is
up, man?
back to the panel. Have you two met each other? Scotty, we can't hear you.
Oh, what's good, bro? What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? Yeah, I met Justin, I think, once before. We were on a panel before.
Yes,
What's
sir.
going on, man?
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of a story when I must have been like 24 at this point, right? So still a lot like younger and fresher. So I went to this porn party in the Valley. That's when I lived in LA. And I was there chilling. I was talking to this girl, pretty cute girl, right? And then Ron Jeremy shows up at the party. And this was before he was in jail. This was when he was like the most biggest porn star, right? So I was like, damn, this is so cool. Like Ron Jeremy's here. Like, fuck. And then, like, I remember telling that to the girl that I was with. I was like, dude, it's pretty fucking crazy. Ron Jeremy just showed up. She's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, what, you don't like the guy? She's like, God, this guy sends his fucking dick pics to every single fucking girl. I just blocked him. And then I kind of observed him. And yeah, like all the girls were like not really wanting to engage with him. So, and this is, again, he's not good looking, obviously, but he was definitely, had a lot of status. So yeah, I've kind of seen that firsthand. But yeah,
that's an interesting point. Having clout can actually work against you. Right. So I'm friends with all like the influencers in my city, right? All the TikTokers or like the social media content creators. Right. And I just noticed different dynamics because obviously all the guys that do content, they want to get pussy still. Right. We're all men. Right. But these guys aren't PUA guys. They don't really focus on that as much. But I've noticed like a lot of women that see, if you had a large social media following, the women will actually think they already know you from your social media. So it's almost like you're fighting an uphill battle. It's almost like they're just shit testing you just because they know you from social media. So imagine like not approaching girls and they already think they know who you are. Right? Like the story that
I think generally more. I think more often than not, it works in your favor. It sometimes can work against you if she has a negative perception.
Well, it depends, right? Imagine you're like like you just mentioned. Imagine you're famous for being Ron Jeremy, like you're a fat porn star, right? And who's known for saying unsolicited dick pics to people, right? It's not going to be in your favor, right? Or imagine
that's mainly because of the unsolicited dick pics, right? Like,
I'm sure if like Justin Bieber would have no problem getting pussy, or I'm sure like certain celebrities or like big influencers or whoever would like, especially if they have a large female audience, like David Dobrik, right? He's a big YouTuber and the women love him, right? Or like certain influencer celebrities would have no problem, right? But I don't think it really adds much to the average guy unless you're like literally A-list level celebrity and have a large social media following as well, right? With women specifically. Like you can have female fans. Well, because think about this, you can have a large male fan base. Like let's say you're like a champion martial artist, you're like in the MMA or like you do like MMA or something or like UFC, and like okay, a lot of dudes are gonna know who you are, but chicks probably don't know who you are. Maybe
no matter what you do, there will be a small percentage of girls who follow you. Like even like me, like 5 to 10% of my audience is female, right? God only knows why they watch my content, but they do, and I appreciate them. So no matter, I think what you do, you'll have some girls who watch you. So if you scale that, you're at 1 million, subscribers, maybe you'll have 5,000, 10,000 female ones, right? And of those, maybe, half of them will be single, and of those, maybe 10% will, slide in your DMs. But
I'm not saying it's a disadvantage in any way. It definitely is an advantage, but it's like saying, oh, well, if I'm a millionaire, we'll be getting laid will be easier for me. It's like not necessarily. Right?
I think money is different than status, though. I don't think money gives you an advantage past like 100,000 versus I think that status. If you go, so like, okay, let's say you make $500,000 a year and you 10x your money, right? I don't think you got any kind of advantage with women, but let's say you have this level of following, right? And you 10x it. That I think did give you an advantage with women. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You know
I
what
think
I
girls
found
are
was like
less impressed with status. I just think more than ever before they're less impressed. In fact, sometimes I think it could work against you in today's world. I don't know. It just seems that way. I don't even.
they have so much
I just say
access
I'm.
to it. They have so
Yeah,
much
I say
access
I'm
to it.
off
And look at
social
her
media. I don't
Instagram.
even say I'm on social media.
No,
You
look
know.
at a girl's Instagram DMs, right? Like my girlfriend just made her Instagram account public. Okay. And so I actually had her blocked on my Instagram for like over a year because I didn't want her watching my content, getting like pissed off or in pissy moods. So I finally blocked her and I followed her. And in a week I followed her in a week. She got over 500 followers just from me following her. Then we started doing like Instagram content, pushing her. She almost has like 10,000 followers already. Okay. And there's dudes from Dubai offering her fly her out. There's like all kinds of shit going on, dude. There like just so many guys in her DMs offering money for feet pics, all kinds of shit, right? So status, yes,
But
it's
those
good.
guys
I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying status is good. I'm just saying like the average girl, even like the fattest chick now, she'll like if she were to slide in a successful guy's DMs, he's probably gonna reply. Or like
But the guys that are sliding in her DMs, offering her money or to fly her out, they don't have status. They just have money, right? If I'm not talking about your girlfriend, but just a girl who's single, right? If like Leonardo DiCaprio or even like someone who she likes, like a YouTuber who has 300,000 subscribers who she likes, slides in her DMs, she's gonna be much more receptive to that than a random guy.
I agree with you. That was gonna bring my next point. Status is actually perceptive, right? Like
Yes,
there could be a woman who like she might look at my Instagram and be like, I'm not into this guy because I'm a wholesome homebody and I don't like party guys. I want a good Christian boyfriend, right? Then there's another girl who look at me like, oh my God, this guy's my dream guy. Like I like everything about him, right? So status is very perceptive. Like status from one girl could actually be a disadvantage with another woman. But you know what's cool about having money is you can actually buy status, right? If you have a lot of money, let's say I just got invited to a party tonight. It's like a club owner and it's his birthday tomorrow. It's his like 50th birthday. He's bringing out over 100 women. Right on a Tuesday.
You can buy status, but most rich people don't do that.
Most rich people don't, but I think if you actually have money, I think it's a smart thing to do, right? My accountant just bought a yacht, right? Why would a guy want to buy a yacht for summer in Toronto, right? Because you want big booty Latinas shaking ass on the boat, right? Or like, let's say you want to get access to a certain social circle. I've done this personally. I personally have done this to connect with certain people, right? I'll buy a bottle. It's like $500 at a dude's table. He's got to have a bunch of girls there. It's gonna be a good party. I'll say, hey man, like, can I get a bottle at your table? And then now you have access to his network and becoming friends with him, becoming friends with the people in his circle. So having money definitely actually helps you buy status in certain situations. I found it really beneficial.
Foot in the door, but I think that if that dude who buys the yacht or buys like a party pad and starts having huge parties, if he's a fucking nerd, loser, weirdo, creep, then he's still not going to close unless he's
I agree with that 100%.
So
I couldn't agree with that more.
So it gets your foot in the door, which for some guys, like for me,
Justin, you're speaking from a place of like you learned game and stuff like that and had to come up the hard way. Like I think if you do not have any foundation of game and this is like your main, tool to use, I think it's problematic. Anything if you don't establish game, everything else is problematic.
Most guys with good game are naturals, though, right? Like pickup dudes are an exception to like dating coaches or people who have good game through pickup are the exception. They're not the norm, right? Like most of the guys who have good game are naturals who don't even know about the concept of game.
Yeah.
What is that? I don't think that
I do think before a guy makes a lot of money or develops status, they should develop game ideally, or like to any good young guys watching this, like instead of trying to like, I've seen guys that are like, I want to get rich so I can get girls. I'm like, dude, just learn fucking pickup fundamentals, right? Get rich anyway. I'm not saying don't get rich, right? But you absolutely need to develop game because I've done it all, dude.
The game will help you get rich too.
Yeah, the game will help you get rich 100%. Like I did really well with women first. I mean, first was me having crippling social anxiety and depression and no friends, being a fucking loner. And then when I discovered game, it was like I discovered the Bible. It was like I discovered like the forbidden knowledge, right? And then to me, it just gave me the confidence knowing that I can learn from my mistakes and like go to coaches and experts or watch expert panels on YouTube to learn what I'm doing wrong and why girls are rejecting me or curving me or girls are cheating on me, right? And then I got really good, right? And I slept with over 100 women at 22. And then I was like, okay, let's focus on my career now. And I started making good money, right? And I believe if I hadn't done the game first, I don't think I would have ever made any money. I really don't think I would have even had a successful career if I hadn't actually learned game, because I wouldn't even know how to deal with people, right? Now, I found a lot of business is you're dealing with people, right? So You know,
Yeah,
gaming is the ultimate skill
well,
you can
there's
fucking learn,
social,
man.
like the guys who are the CEOs and the managers, they're usually not the ones who are the best at their job. They're usually just the ones with the better social skills. You have to be decent at what you do, and sometimes not even really, but most of the time you have to be adequate at it. But it's not the smartest guy at the company, or it's not the most innovative guy at the company. That's the CEO or the manager, right? They're usually just like engineers and working on something. But yeah, a lot of it is like how far you climb up in the corporate hierarchy, or when you start a business. A lot of it is just networking, meeting the right people, making the right connections. I would say that's a huge part, you know.
It's
But
massive.
anyway,
Massive.
let's jump to this question. Can you guys help with how to make a girl feel more comfortable at your place, specifically sober girls? I had a girl in my bed on the first day, but she said she didn't feel comfortable yet, so she left. Well, I would argue if a girl is on your bed, which is different than just being at your place, that she is on some level wanting to fuck. Because girls don't just sit on guys' beds if they're not on some level DTF. I mean, in terms of building comfort, so there's many ways to do it. I'll give you guys a little hack. So if I sense a girl's like really uncomfortable, which doesn't happen often, is I'll ask her what kind of music she likes and I'll put on her favorite song, right? And I think that just because people associate music with emotion. So if she has positive emotions with that song, by putting it on, she starts now having positive emotions, which she associates with me. So that's like a little hack. But a lot of it is I'll just crack jokes. I won't really physically escalate so much. I'll just focus more on building sexual tension. I'll crack a lot of jokes. I'll make her laugh. I'll ask interesting questions, and yeah, that usually does the trick.
Yeah, there's two really good ways that you can do this. First of all, is eliminate the timeline. Okay, a lot of guys, they think I need to close the girl. I need to close the girl. It's a scarcity mindset because you're assuming that she's never going to want to see you again. But if you just know what your value is and you know that you're a good dude and that she's going to want to see you again, eliminate the timeline, the need and desire to want to have sex. You're more likely to end up seeing her again and sleeping with her faster than if you didn't eliminate the timeline. You're actually more likely to sleep with her on the first date if you eliminate the timeline, because she can feel that you're not needy, you're not outcome dependent. She feels like you're not just trying to get in her pants, right? The second thing you do is build comfort through statements of empathy, right? You just give her empathetic statements, like let her know, look, we don't have to do anything you're uncomfortable with. Don't worry. It's like, you're safe here. My house is your house. That was a big one. I lived in Mexico, right? And I noticed like I want to say "mis casa su casa," right? And it's just like
Mi pene su pene.
it makes it. I remember hearing that, feeling so comfortable. I was like, wow, that is like such a nice thing, right? And so I always tell girls, listen, my house is your house. You can relax, take your shoes off. Don't worry. We don't have to do anything you're comfortable with. You can just chill here. Like, we're good. You know, we can come over anytime. We can just chill, right? And it makes them more comfortable to want to hang out with you. Right. And they also feel like, okay, this guy's not just trying to fuck me. He like genuinely like wants me to feel safe in his space. And the other thing too, this is a really good, like kind of almost psychological hack. A lot of times if I'm having a date, what I'll do is I'll invite the girl to my house first, and then we'll go out from there. So she'll come, like, let's say we're gonna take her to the club, come to my house, we'll have a little pre-party or a pre-drink, have a couple drinks, right? Maybe she'll leave some stuff in my house, maybe she'll leave her coat in my house. We'll go to like dinner, we'll go to the club, right? And then we're going to come back there anyway at the end of the night, right? We're going to come back for an after party, or like we're going to the restaurant nearby my place. We're going back to my place after, right? Because I got to charge my phone, or she left her jacket or whatever. She's more likely to feel comfortable because she's already been there, right? If she's already been there once, she's more likely to feel comfortable coming back, right? But if you make her uncomfortable the first time she's at your house, she probably is never going to want to come back anyway, right? So you got to make sure she feels safe and comfortable and respected. It's super important that a woman feels that, or she's not going to want to see you again.
A lot of it is just vibes, honestly. Like I typically invite girls straight to my place, and I've had some girls come over and they're like totally comfortable, right? And most are somewhere in the middle. But I've had girls come that look like they were really nervous, right? And I can usually make, not all the time, but a lot of the time, I can make a girl feel pretty comfortable within like 15, 20 minutes. And really, it's not something special, I say. It's just vibing, right? It's just cracking jokes. It's just fucking around. Just when she sees that you're not nervous at all and you're very comfortable, that's going to transfer. But if you're nervous, right, then the opposite is going to happen. So that's going to like transfer over. So a lot of it is just based on your vibes. Also, I think that girls perceive you as creepy when your actions don't align with your words, when there's incongruency. So if you're pretty upfront about the fact that you want to fuck her, that's not really creepy when you try to fuck her. But if you're like saying, no, I just want to be friends, and then you try to fuck her, that could come off as creepy. So just being congruent is another thing that's going to prevent issues down the line.
I also think that this mindset is coming from a place of too much emphasis on the girl. You're waiting for her, and you're not used to being a leader. And understanding that at a deep level, if you project comfort, she'll fuck you in the backseat of your car. But it's coming from a place of, oh, she's uncomfortable. What do I do? What do I do? You're putting way too much emphasis on the girl outside of you. You know, you have to set the tone. You have to always set the tone, regardless. Don't even barely pay attention to it. You know, just project comfort. That's it, man. Even if you feel like it's not, you know, not your real, you have to learn sooner or later.
How do pickup artists get 190 so they're spitting? That's an interesting question. So I would say that no matter how much pussy you're getting, most people, not everyone, I guess not sociopaths, have an innate desire for love. They want companionship and they want love. And so when you find a girl who, especially some girls, you might put her on a pedestal and you kind of close off to all her negative qualities, and she gives you some affection or some level of love. You're gonna now want to let that go. I just think that's human nature. And one night isn't like it's if you're dating a girl for 7 years, like I have been, or 6 years, I guess, it's okay to have some level of one nights, right? Like I really love my girlfriend, right? I really, like don't think like, yes, if we break up, I could find another girl to fuck. I could find another girl to date, but I don't really want to because we have a big connection, right? So, but the problem is when you develop a one nighties at like an inappropriate times or too fast. That's when it becomes an issue. So, that's my take.
I don't think you should have, if I don't know, like if you said I could easily find another girl, then it kind of like, I don't know, like why is she so special? If you get, I think it's hard. So you should be grateful to find her. Sometimes it's not as easy as you think. Then you wouldn't care. You are attached to your girlfriend right now because you realize you have something special. You connected with her. So the fact that you're saying you could replace her really quickly, or whatever, those two don't even really go hand in hand.
Let me clarify this, especially if she's watching this. It's not that I'm saying that I could replace like what we have. I'm saying that I could easily meet another girl who's attractive and have sex with her. And ultimately, I could find an attractive girl to have a relationship with after some screening. But it would be really, really hard for me to replace the intimacy and the emotional connection that we've developed over a very long period of time. That would not be able to easily do. I might not be able to do that, period. A lot of that will just come down to luck. So, yeah, that's kind of... all right, you guys move on to the next one. Does pulling become easier after you do it the first time? I'm currently a virgin. I've never been on a date. I'm trying to change that, but it takes a fair amount. Yes, the more you do something, the easier it becomes. Pulling is no exception.
Yeah, I mean, losing your virginity, dude, is always gonna be an awkward thing. Personal advice I would give is just fucking get rid of it. Get experience, have some experience. A lot of guys want to wait for the special girl or like the first time, whatever. Yeah, it's fuck that. Okay. First of all, when I was on virginity, dude, I remember it very vividly. It was not fun. It didn't feel good. I was confused. I was like, what the fuck is going on? This is sex. Like I just put my penis in, just left it there. And I'm like, I like sex. Like what is going on? Like it didn't feel good. Right. I didn't know what I was doing. Right. And you want to get sexual experience so you get better at it. Right. So when you finally have developed yourself enough to meet a woman that you actually want to date, they actually connect with and actually like, you have experience that you can share with her, right? No woman wants to be the one teaching you as a man how to fucking lead the relationship. So you need to get experience so you can learn to be the man who leads, right? It's very important, very important.
Yeah, waiting for marriage is retarded, and dating a girl who wants to wait for marriage is retarded.
I just happened to get lucky. My first girlfriend was 24. I was 19, and I lost my virginity to her off MySpace, and we ended up dating for a year. And she schooled me on everything, pretty much. She was seasoned. She was very seasoned.
It's great.
I'm trying to see constantly what to do when setting up a date for women that live 75 minutes. I'm 75 minutes from New York City. I have this problem. How do you convince them to come to New York City?
You gotta move, buddy. You gotta move.
One that lives 75 minutes. I'm 75 minutes from New York City, so I have this problem. How do you convince them to come from NYC to you? Well, I mean, that's going to be really tough. Like most girls are not going to want to drive over an hour, but you probably live.
I had this exact same situation. I lived exactly a 75-minute bus ride from the downtown of Toronto. Like my family lived in the middle of fucking nowhere where I grew up. Was like it almost felt like you're out in the country, but not quite. Right? It was like very naturey. It was very suburban. And it sucked. It was horrible. Like to get laid was very difficult, right? I'll go on dates in my neighborhood at a bus shelter. Like there was nowhere to take chicks. I couldn't bring them back to my parents' house. So I would just hang out with them by the park in summer. I'd try to fuck them in like this bus shelter. Like or like in this like forested area. It was really, really shit until I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to move to the downtown core of the city, right? So just move to fucking Manhattan, move to somewhere central and make it easier logistically. Okay.
Or
A lot of guys
there's an
ask
option.
questions.
Like I grew up in Jersey. I grew up 40-minute drive from New York City. But pretty much all the girls I fucked when I was in Jersey were not from New York City. They were just from other Jersey girls. Like, just go for like anything around New York City is gonna have a decent population. So just fuck the girls that are within your, within like 20, 30 miles from you. Like, fuck the girls. You don't have to fuck the girls from New York City. Just focus on the girls who are closer to you. That would be my advice. Rather than trying
he specifically asked for New York City girls. So if he's asking for New York City girls, move to New York City or get like a place in the middle of the city, right? Obviously that can be expensive. Like one of my buddies just moved there. He's paying like $7,000 a month for like a 1-bedroom, right? It's difficult, dude. It's difficult. So you gotta have money for that. Or I mean, if you have a car, you can go pick the girl up, right?
Yeah,
the
car's good.
And hang on your car.
Or
but,
just
it's
the easiest solution is just to go for girls that are closer to you. Go for girls in your area. There's girls where you live.
I would imagine this guy has wings in New York City, or he's trying to meet up with people that he can game with or something. If that was the case, I would definitely drive to. I used to drive to the city all the time, fuck girls in the backseat of my car, or either drive them half an hour back to Long Island. So it's doable, man. It's definitely.
You can find a friend who has a place, right? So like I have my penthouse, I have a guest room, and a lot of my friends don't live in like the downtown part of the city. So I have a guest room where friends who fly in can crash at my place. If you guys ever come to Toronto, you can crash at my guest room if you let me know in advance. I have friends that are like wings of mine that just like pull bitches to my guest room, and we do like a little after party with a bunch of chicks back at my crib. Right, I have a little guest room, so I have like find someone who has something set up where you can just pull chicks to his place. Like if you had a buddy who had a penthouse in Manhattan and he doesn't get much pussy, and you're just bringing all these chicks around, right? Like let's say you're just surrounded with chicks, but you don't have a place to pull. Find a dude who wants to be around beautiful women and throw him a bone every now and then. You know what I mean? And you'll have no problem with you bringing girls over in the middle of the night. I have multiple people have a key to my house. I have 3 of my buddies have keys to my house. So I told them they can bring girls here anytime they want, even if I'm sleeping. Right? One
Justin,
of my buddies has
my sex robot in your guest room. Is that okay?
What do you say? A sex spot?
Totally. We were talking about that earlier. Right? Yeah. Can I pull a sex robot?
I had a buddy who lived really far away, and he had a key to my house and like a key fob. So like one night I'm sleeping and he's like spam calling my phone because he's pulling 2 chicks from the club. And I'm there with my ex-girlfriend in the middle of summer after a boat day, just passed out, right? So I wake up to him in my living room with 2 girls. We go on the balcony, and then I'm just winging him. I'm with one girl, he's with the other one. I'm making out with one. He ends up fucking one of them. My girlfriend's in my room. And so like just find a friend. If I was this guy, I would just find a friend who has a downtown New York City penthouse or like Manhattan penthouse. And it's easier said than done. But if you meet enough women, dude, and you're that guy, you just like throw girls around, like, it's a win-win all around because now you have a place to pull chicks to, or just find a friend who like let you smash girls' bathroom or something. You know what I mean?
No, Justin, you had a penthouse in New York City for a while, or you still do?
I live in Toronto, so I have a place here in Toronto. But what I would do is I would also like scope out public places that you can smash chicks, right? And this is something I used to do when I was young and I lived with my parents because I lived like an hour and a half from downtown. I'd find like public places where I could fuck chicks. Like it was like alleyways and parks and like just those random places, dude. It was like public restrooms. Like I knew all the public restrooms, right? Like the handicapped disabled bathrooms,
like George
or like
Costanza.
like the gender neutral bathrooms, dude. Right? Because then let's say you meet a chick and she's down to fuck. It's like, well, I don't want to pay for a hotel. I just pull her to the fucking bathroom, So that's another thing you could do.
Yeah,
it's kind of degenerate. It's kind of gross, but
cars were like my best friend. Cars, to this day, backseat of my car is like probably second most used backseat of my car for sure. The health department would shut it down. That's how often it's been used. So the backseat of my car is legit. So, and nowadays I started in 2008 where we didn't have nearly as many resources. Now we have all these different resources to find guys like Justin's talking about. There's all these different resources to find wings and find people to eventually you can latch on to somebody and just be like, yo, you want to go out and pick up chicks? Someone's going to be interested.
I grew up in a pretty small town. My town was so small. There was 2 bars in my town or city, whatever you want to call it. It was like population 30,000 people. It's really suburban. And one of those bars was just for like old, weird people. So no one went there. The other one was where like the younger people went. And I would just really, when I came back from college, when I was living at home for like 6 months, 9 months after college, I would just go to that bar. I wouldn't even really go to New York City, even though it's like a 30-40 minute drive. I would just go to that bar, and I would, my game wasn't the best back then, but I pulled some chicks from that bar, right? So I would also try to find things closer to you. And I guarantee you there's a bar that's within a 20-30 minute drive from you that's probably pretty decent. So
We don't know where he's talking about, though. He could be in the middle of nowhere. 75 minutes. He could be like in the fucking boondocks somewhere, dude.
not if he's 75 minutes from New York City. That whole area is just
Like Buffalo or something, or upstate New
no,
York.
Buffalo will be way more than 75 minutes. Buffalo will be like 5 hours.
I was Long Island. I was like probably 30 minutes away. So he could be either north or like, I don't know where the fuck he is. He could be he definitely could be up in the mountains somewhere.
I guarantee you, no matter where he is, it's somewhere that's not that bad if he's 75 minutes away. But anyway, this doesn't matter. Let's move on to the next question. How do you balance this not chasing idea? Example, ladies, you open say, we're going over to a different room in the club. What do you do? That's a good question. So what would my take be here? Well, I think that you can be persistent. You have to understand that you can be persistent without chasing, and you can be tenacious without chasing. Chasing is when you're really trying to sell the girl. You're trying to convince her. You're trying to persuade her. Versus persistent is just when you're like, look, I want this, but I don't need this. But you're just not willing to give up super easily. What you guys probably have a better answer than me. So what do you guys think about this?
I'll take it. I mean, chasing, I'll give you a prime example. Like when we're opening street sets, for example, I run into this a lot. Guys will do they'll step in front, and basically if she walks past, that's it. They let her go after one, trying to get it around, but she's on autopilot to go around the guy anyway. So I'm doing it more like 1, 2, sometimes 3 steps in front of her, and I'll get the girl. They're just programmed to just keep going on streets. So it's like, I don't know. I think that's persistence. I'm not going to keep chasing, but I'll give 2 or 3 steps in front of her to see what's up and make it a point that I want to get to know her, because they're full head of steam. They don't want to be bothered. And then you just have to get them to crack a smile, get them captivated, and she'll be in, you shouldn't just give up after one. I'm going to try to walk around you. That's it. That's my opinion. I've seen guys let go of a lot of good girls like that.
How does the game change in more traditional southern cities like Atlanta? In my opinion, it doesn't change at all. I think that any city is going to have, some level of DTF girls, some maybe more than others. But even in all these southern or midwestern cities, it's a city. Typically the more traditional girls, typically, there's exceptions, will live not in the cities. They typically live on a fucking farm somewhere, or some house that's in the middle of nowhere. Again, there's going to be, I'm speaking very generally, but so in my opinion, the game does not change at all.
The game doesn't change. The game doesn't really change.
Yeah,
the girls might change. I think the girls will be very receptive. I find the girls in Atlanta to be very receptive.
The culture changes. Culture changes, but game stays the same.
If you're in fucking Saudi Arabia, the game is probably going to change. Yes, or if you're even in some other third world country, maybe it can change a little bit, right? But within America, I don't think the game changes. To be on check if you're interested. What is your opinion on London? What is your opinion on the London day game model? I'm honestly not familiar with it.
I kind of like it. It's what I like about it? It's a formal structure that guys can follow, right? But the other thing too, dude, if you do the London day game model in London, the girls have been approached there. London's got one of the biggest POA hubs and communities out of anywhere in the world. So the girls there have just been approached 1,000,000 fucking times. And then I don't know, honestly, dude, I think it works. I think any model of any type of game, anything that's structured works, right? Just try what works for you and get rid of what doesn't.
Ironically, I've had a client I spoke to today on a Zoom call. He was following this model and he showed me his infields. It was some of the worst infield. If he said he's been following, it's just straight platonic, hands in pockets, no sexual vibe whatsoever. I don't know if that's what I've never looked into it, but he said he's followed this model and I've watched his infield and it was some of the worst infield I've ever seen.
It's very elementary level training though, right? Or the London day game model is very and it's just a fucking, it's basic cold approach 101, right? So obviously, you know,
It's just straight platonic conversation. It's basically
Yeah.
just straight platonic, have a conversation
Really?
with a person, and that's it. There's
it's
no
like sure,
sexual.
like, oh,
Really?
excuse
That's
me,
it?
I saw you from over
Yeah.
there, and then
Yeah, that's it. I saw you over there. I
and
think you're
that's
cute,
it.
and then on to the just stupid, you know, with no established attraction or anything.
Yeah,
Just
I would be trying to like
Really?
invite her to something. I would be trying to fucking obviously see if she's available, if she's single, if she's interested. You
yeah.
know,
I don't know too much about it, but it's corny. It's pretty bad. It's pretty shitty.
it is very like corny, like textbook PUA fucking like gibberish. But the reason I like it is because it gives a framework to guys that otherwise would be like, there's a lot of guys out there, dude, who just have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to strike up a conversation at all. So it gives guys like literal autism an ability to actually have understanding of how to approach a woman. But it's not like it's gonna.
Yeah, it's like level 1 AA. It's
level
more
one,
like an
dude.
AA program. Like if you want to learn how to
Exactly.
like break your approach anxiety, but that's about it.
Yeah. What do you think about the common trope that your wife or girlfriend should be your best friend? Can your best friend truly be your girl? I mean, I would probably say that. Well, I mean, your best friend is someone you're closest with. I would say that my girlfriend is probably. Well, no, I'm probably like aside from my mom and dad is the person I'm closest with. So on some level, yes, but I usually when people ask me who's my best friend, I say it's someone I've known since middle school, whose name I won't give away, but he developed fire text with me. Really good dude. I don't know. Depends on how you define best friend, but yeah, I guess in theory she can be.
Well, if you live with your girl and you spend a lot of time with her, she eventually becomes like your companion, right? So she become like one of your closest friends, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing too, dude, it's like being in a relationship with a woman. Typically, like it's very different than becoming friends with a guy. If you're friends with a guy, if you're friends with like one of your homies, it's like it's just pure friendship. You know, you guys are friends because you guys are friends. With a woman, there's always this expectation. Well, are we gonna get married? Are we gonna have kids? This and that, whatever reason. Like you want pussy, and she wants a future with you. You know, and so I mean, on one hand, she's not really your friend. On the other hand, she's like your best friend. So if you spend a lot of time with her, like I mean, you can call her your best friend. I think it's kind of gay. She'd be like running around telling people, "My girlfriend's my best friend," but like. You know, she's your woman, dude. She's your fucking the future mother of your children, or your fucking whatever you want to call it. You know, I think it's like homosexual to run around telling people that your girlfriend's your best friend. But like, sure, she's like one of your best friends. Like
I think there's a
way-
reason he put it in
yeah.
quotations because he probably already knew the answer to that question. It's best friend. I don't know, dude. But yeah, it's kind of gay, man. Like there's a big difference between like a guy friend that you really consider like a guy, a true friend. Like a woman is not. I don't know. It's just corny. It's just weird.
Technically true, but also kind of gay. That's
Yeah,
what
it is. It's kind of weird. That's why he put it in parentheses
True,
because
but
it's
kinda
gay.
gay.
He
Yeah.
knew the answer to the question because he put it in parentheses. It's kind of gay.
Yeah.
Alex, why don't you lock down your girl and tie the knot? Do you have holdups? Well, first of all, I would argue that my girl's already locked down. Like she's not going anywhere. Me getting married is not going to lock her down any further. Okay, like I don't see that. But really, no, I don't have any specific reservations. It's just there's no benefit to me or even her for us to get the government involved in our relationship. Like what's
The way that sounds is crazy.
only reason I would get
marriage
married
is for the woman, not really for a man. Like I don't think like it's not your childhood dream as a man to like
Well, I
get
don't even
married.
see,
You know,
and she like we've talked about this, and like she doesn't even really see how it benefits her unless we have a kid or something like that. In which case, obviously, the dynamic changes. But like, it doesn't really like what's the benefit to the people doing it? It's mainly for your family, really. If my family really needed that, then I probably would do it for them, yeah. But they don't really care that much. I mean, they probably care a bit, but you know, they don't tell me, so it's whatever. Okay, let's see. Think better, yeah.
You know, there's so many simps out there who are like brainwashed. Like in my comment section, I'll get like, "Why aren't you married?" Like, dude, since when is that like the big trophy for like a dude? I don't know. It never doesn't really enter my brain like that's the big trophy. That's means you made it or some shit. I don't know. It's crazy.
Justin, who do you think does better in game overall? Guys who try to build comfort, emotional connection, etc., or guys who try to show strong sexual authority, dominant sex experience, etc.?
that's a good question, and both are very useful. But overall, I would say most men would benefit from building comfort and learning how to have an emotional connection, more emotional intelligence. Because I mean, I see it every weekend, dude. I see how many guys are like, bro. Toronto's like a war zone in the summer. It's like dudes just fighting over pussy, like fighting for scraps, super aggressive, getting in fights because there's like one last chick and like everyone's just trying to get their dick sucked.
Really?
And I find Toronto, like it's a lot. It's a lot, bro.
I've never gamed there, man. I heard it's good. I heard good.
It's
I heard
great.
good
It's a great place to do game. But again, in the summer, there's a lot of tourism and there's a lot of just horny dudes, right? And women are just so tired. Here, dude, women are just so tired of being approached to the club. Like, just so tired. Even dating.
Wait, you
bro,
said
like
corny dudes or horny dudes? Corny?
Horny dudes.
Oh, horny. Okay.
Right.
Horny.
And so I find just building comfort allows you to differentiate yourself from other men. It allows you to say, hey, like, I'm not just like one of these horny dudes trying to fuck you. Like, I actually like you. Right. And you're demonstrating a lot of social intelligence, emotional intelligence when you build comfort instead of leading with just being this like dominant sex guy, right? Just being an overly sexual dude. And don't get me wrong, that works, right? Once she already likes you. That works amazing once she already likes you, once she already feels safe and comfortable with you, right? But I don't think you should lead with that.
I think all these questions are kind of silly. Like, I think really good game is just somebody who has the ability to really calibrate accordingly, like to kind of what you're getting. You know, you just kind of put the bait out there, you kind of see what you're getting, and then you just you calibrate accordingly, man. Like if she's DTF, go for it. Like, a guy will not be able to read that if he's just focused on, oh, I got to build comfort and connection. Like, yo, she's DTF, go for it. Like, so each girl's going to be different depending on what you give her. You know what I mean? So you got to be that's really a sign of good game.
I think this is a solid question, and I would agree. It depends on the girl. If the girl's like,
if you're focused on emotional comfort and the girl is DTF, like, don't even worry about it. Just focus on being able to calibrate. If she's down, then go for it. If not, then build a little more comfort with the girl. Get a little bit more emotional connection. But you kind of gotta see it's.
If the girl's looking to fuck, then sexual authority is gonna win out. If the girl is like, she doesn't have a high body count, she's not just like generally DTF, then probably emotional connection is probably going to be better. So it just depends on it depends on your personality as well. Let's do a few more questions. How seriously should you take age objections? I was rejected by a girl for being 3 years younger than her, and she seemed serious about it, but she said if I were older, she would feel different. I mean, 3 years, probably not that serious. I mean, could be.
Well, depends how old he is. If he's like fucking 17, she's like 20. Yeah, I understand that.
Okay,
like,
if it's that, but
if she's like 30 and you're like 27, and it also depends on what she's looking for. She might just be making an excuse. Like, she might just be making an excuse to disqualify you. But a general piece of advice I actually give to guys who are younger is a lie to say you're a little bit older. Like, I remember being like 21 years old. Me and she's like 30. I'd be like, oh, I'm 26, right? Just because like I always look really young and I always had like a baby face. And dude, I was doing cold approach at 18, and girls thought I was 15. So I would approach chicks at like 21. They think I'm 15, and I'm like, God damn it. So I'd try to lie and say, I'm like, oh, well, I'm 19. I'm not 18. I'm 19, right? Just to kind of like make it more in the perceptive reality that, okay, maybe I can go for this guy. But I never like the idea of lying to say you're younger than you are. Like, if you're 30 and you're going for a chick who's like 21, I think it's kind of cringe to fucking lie and say you're 25. But definitely, like, there's a lot of women that might be interested in you. But if you're on the younger side, I personally don't. I've never minded lying about my age when I was younger to say I was a little bit older to get an older chick. But as I got older, I mean, I logically, morally know what's wrong. Like, if I smash a chick and she lied about her age, I'd be pissed. Okay, I'd be super fucking pissed.
Would you really? I don't think I would care that much.
Dude, I definitely would. It depends. It also depends. Like, if she was, I actually had that happen. I was fucking pissed, dude. I was like uncomfortable. You know, like if I met a girl who was like 30 and she told me she's like 23. And I'm like dating her. That actually happened to me in Mexico. I was dating a chick for about 6 weeks.
Well, it's different if you date her, but I think
this girl told me she was 23 when I was 24, and I found out she was 29, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Right?
Yeah, it happened to me too. I was kind of pissed.
I was pissed, dude. But like, I stayed with her. But like, it just you're setting the wrong frame. So I wouldn't want to do that to a woman either, right? I definitely wouldn't want to do that to women, but I understand how guys can get disqualified by women, sexually. So.
It wasn't even so much the age; it was the principle how easy she was just lying about it. Like, that's kind of more what bothered me. Yeah,
it was the same thing with me, dude.
So this is a follow-up. I live in Staten Island, which is impossible to pull. Well, Staten Island definitely has a shitload of bars. So why don't you just go out to the local areas? Why don't you pull girls from Staten Island? That would be the solution. Like, you don't need to go to Manhattan. You can just get girls from Staten Island. It's a relatively densely populated area. So that would be my advice.
You know about Staten Island, Alex? You've gamed over there? I have no idea. I couldn't input on that because I don't know the
I
game
mean,
situation
I
there.
don't know if I've ever gamed there, but I know it's a relatively densely populated area.
Is it really? Okay.
I mean, not as nearly as populated, densely populated as Manhattan, but it's not. It's not like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. There's
Um,
probably worse, right?
Yeah. Joseph 10. I've never had a girlfriend. I've been around 50 dates. Feels impossible to attract a girl enough for her to be in a relationship with me. So did you? Okay, here's the key follow-up question. Of those 50 dates, how many of those girls did you have sex with? Because I'm going to stand to take a guess that it's a small amount. Because that's what comes first. So I think a lot of guys try to like reverse these steps, but before you get into a relationship, you have to be able to sleep with a girl, right? A lot of guys try to flip it the other way, but it doesn't work that way for most of the time, especially now in 2025. So yeah, you have to be able to get laid consistently, and then you can start focusing on relationships.
Oh, he said in a follow-up comment, and you closed 5 out of the 50, right? Which is, I'll be honest, that's like shockingly low. That's like you're bringing the girls on dates and hanging out with them, and it's a very low conversion rate. Because typically, if I meet up with a woman, like we're fucking. You know what I mean? Like I do a lot of pre-framing, so she knows. She knows what kind of guy she's getting involved with. She knows that my sexual interest is there. Like I'm not just going on a date to fucking hang out and be besties. You know what I mean? Like your close rate should be more than 5 out of 50, dude. Right?
Yeah, and the last statement really has nothing to do with it either. Like, I mean, because you without being good to bed, they wouldn't know that if you're not even being able to escalate to fuck them. So that's kind of like it's irrelevant. You have no unless you have insecurities around it. If you have a small dick or you just suck in bed, maybe you have a lot of insecurities around it, and you're not able to you don't want to fuck them that bad, or you're nervous.
The real question here would be phrased like this. I've had sex with 5 girls and they don't want to be in a relationship with me. That's really what the question is.
Right.
The 45 don't count.
There could be a bunch of reasons, right? That why the women don't want to be in a relationship with him. He might be like.
I find it interesting that he brought up that I'm
physically
bad in bed.
autistic.
Yeah, I found it interesting he brought up that he's bad in bed. That tells me that something he doesn't want to drop his drawers. He's like afraid or something. Like maybe he's really insecure around that.
There's a book. There's a book you can read to get better. Have you guys ever heard of The Sex God Method by Daniel Rose? It's a really good book to learn how to get better in bed. I highly recommend it to everybody who needs to learn how to get better in bed. Right? I mean, to me, it's just like common sense at this point. But a lot of the guys have never gotten good with sleeping with women. This book will really help you. The Sex God Method by Daniel Rose. It's really good book.
Yeah, it's a great book. Joseph, out of the 5 girls that you had sex with, did you see any of them a second time? That's my follow-up question. Okay. Here's a question for you, Scotty. Can you talk about pattern interrupts in your cold approaches, and what are the most effective ways to do them?
All right. So, say for example, you go in very direct and you compliment the girl on something. She's got really nice lips or whatever. Then all of a sudden you get into some logistical. She's engaged, she's captivated. You go back and forth with some getting to know you type of question. She's asking you questions back. Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. You can interrupt her with something again, be like, yo, I can't stop staring at your lips. You're really fucking sexy. You could say something like that and interrupt. If she's just taking it, if you notice it's just going into interview mode type shit, you just redirect it right back to, this is a romantic thing. I'm really drawn by you. You know what I mean? You could say anything that really does draw you by her. She has really nice eyes. Do you always look at me like, I like the way you look at me? You could say that almost right in the middle of her, where are you from? You could just regain some sort of control and redirect it.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend. We live together, but I also hook up with other cougars in age. Dude, this is just wrong. Just don't be in a relationship then. Just you say you're not ready for a relationship, or ask to be in a one-way open relationship. But cheating is not good. It's not sustainable long term. It's not a kind thing to do. I'm not trying to virtue signal. When I was a lot younger, in my second relationship, I cheated on her, and it was wrong. And I wish I didn't do that. So yeah, just don't be. I don't why would you be that guy? Just you can either find a girl that's down to let you do your thing, or if you don't like her that much, then just don't date her. This just running around behind your back is going to stress you out. It's going to cause her pain. There's no winners in that.
I kind of agree with Alex there. I kind of agree with you. Yeah. At the beginning stages, if you're like in the vetting stages and it hasn't really been official, though you're like really hoping for a long-term thing, then
Yeah,
still fuck around, do your thing, like keep your options open, just like she's doing. But if you really start to like her and it solidifies to some degree, then just cut it off.
yeah. I saw one of them a few times. Okay, well, so you need to definitely get more volume in. So definitely go out and hook up with more girls. There's something wrong with your date game if you're only closing 10% of the girls you go on a date with. So that needs to be looked at. But without knowing more info, I can't really guide you there. But
So
yeah,
one of
you just
them,
need to improve, your close rate. You need to run higher volume, and you need to hook up with a bunch more girls, and then you can learn from experience. You can, even after you hooked up with a girl a few times, you can just ask for feedback, be like, hey, I'm just curious, just kind of ask for some feedback. That doesn't hurt either. There's a lot of good sex tutorials. The Sex God Method is an amazing book, so read that. Yeah.
this is an active chat.
Okay, here's a question for Justin. Can you get to my question about how Justin offsets the Indian image and gets girls to see him as dominant?
Yeah, I saw this question. I thought it was kind of funny because even the place it's coming from, I'm gonna assume it's an Indian dude asking the question. Or because I'm not running around thinking, oh my god, I'm Indian, I need to change how people perceive me. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm running around thinking, oh my god, girls won't like me because I'm Indian, I need to be more dominant. To me, this question is retarded. Okay, because I just go out, do my thing. I'm social. I dress well. I'm a gentleman. I'm confident, right? And that's all there is. It's it's the same way any guy would go out and just be better with people and be better with women, right? And obviously, so I understand there's the Indian stereotype of Bob's in Vagine or Indian dudes in America running a 7-Eleven, right? But so just for background for people who don't know me, I'm born and raised in Canada. My family is Indian. But, I actually did a lot of background research on this because my family was Catholic, and the part of India where my family was from was actually colonized by Portugal and the British. So I think honestly, just the way I was raised was very Western, even though my way my parents raised me, it was just very Western values. Right. So I never really necessarily had a problem with this, but the advice I give to a lot of my Indian clients who have a heavy Indian accent or they're kind of newer to North America is to break your stereotype. And this goes for anybody. If you're a dude from Africa or you're a fobby Asian dude or whatever, where the fuck you're from, you just want to break your stereotype. Okay. Instead of being seen as a nerdy Asian guy, right, who's good at math, or a creepy brown guy who smells like curry, just make sure you have good hygiene. You dress well. You do things that are different. Dude, I'm fully tatted. I have piercings. I dress well. I've done things to make myself break any possible stereotype. So I'm not really seen as Indian, dude.
One issue that I see Indian guys encounter is they're so worried about disappointing their parents. They live in fear of their parents, and they want to get tattoos. They like tattoos, but they don't get tattoos because of their parents, 100% because of their parents, right? And look, I'm not saying tattoos are for everyone. If you don't like tattoos, don't get them. I'm not saying everyone should, but if you like tattoos.
But if you are a nerdy Asian guy, having tattoos can make you look badass, right? If you're a fobby Indian dude, it's going to differentiate you guys from other fucking brown dudes or Indian dudes.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of Indian guys are really want to do something, but they don't do because they're scared of their parents.
Mm-hmm. It could do something. If you're in your early 20s and you get tattoos, it could definitely help with the mindset. Yeah, it could help break some really strong stereotypes for real, seriously, because you'll start to get different reactions from people and they'll look at you differently and shit like that. So it will help. It definitely will help.
This really only
Justin's right. I don't know. He doesn't seem to have that Indian guys. I don't know. The ones I've worked with, they seem like they hold this victimhood mindset so strongly to them. Oh, they're so black pill this, black pill that. It's I don't know, man. It's I guess the Westernized.
Indian guys have fucked up mindset, dude. Most Indian guys I know, especially from India, a lot of them have really fucked up mindsets when it comes to dating. Because I've seen it firsthand. I have a massive Indian audience. I actually, just so you guys another context background story. I have an Indian Bollywood fan page that has over 1 million followers on Instagram. And I just see all these Indian guys and they just can't even fathom that a brown guy can get pussy. It's like out of their fucking reality.
Dude,
that,
they
like,
obsess over like like everything black belt. They obsess.
they're
Yeah,
obsessed. They're obsessed with a lack of results. Like being a victim is like part of their fucking mindset.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's kind of
it's
like black
crazy.
people in America. Being a victim is part of their fucking mentality a little bit, right? There's like a culture of that. I feel like Indian immigrants have the same thing when it comes to dating, right?
I actually think Asian guys are better. Like I think Indians are at the bottom when it comes to like just overall like black pill victimhood shit. It's
Yeah, and you
just
know what's crazy, dude? I've actually slept with a lot of women that like fetishize Indian guys. I was at the
Right.
club on I think it was Thursday last week, and I met this chick. She was like a fangirl. She already knew who I was, right? Because it turns out she works with a bunch of girls that I'm friends with. Like she works at a bar. It's like a really popular bar, and I know all this stuff. Like I got all the girls there hired because I was friends with like one of the marketing guys, and so she already knows who I am. She's heard very high good things about me, right? And so before I started talking to her, she was like flirting with another brown guy right before I walked in, and then she started hitting on me. Right. And this girl is an actual model. Like she's an actual fucking model. She's very attractive, blonde, white chick. Right. There's a lot of chicks that will fetishize Asian guys, or a lot of chicks fetishize black men. A lot of women, they'll be into brown guys. They're just because it's different. Right. It's just different to them. Right. And so you have to actually just be attractive in general for you to even experience that. Right. If you're like a fat, overweight Indian dude, or a fat, overweight Asian dude, or a fat, overweight white guy, or flat black, you're just gonna struggle versus if you're in good shape, you're well dressed, you take care of yourself, and you have all these things, to your advantage.
I would argue that pretty much every ethnicity has victims, right? The only exceptions to this, from what I've seen, are black guys from Africa. Those I've never met one that's a victim. Like a black dude from Africa, they usually never view themselves as a victim. They're like, I am so lucky.
Sure, yeah.
No one gets a free pass. Like no matter, and it's all relative because like nobody gets a free pass. I don't think anyone gets a free pass.
Victims. Yeah, but anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, let's keep going. Let's do like 3 more questions. All right, let's see what we have. Okay, here's a specific question for me. How's that texting app going? Do you still have it? Yeah, FireText is still up and running. We had our best month ever last month. It's been growing. So yeah, it's good stuff. We're releasing a new feature where you're going to be able to upload screenshots and have it generate openers for you. So that's exciting. Okay, let's see what else we have. Thoughts on being bald at 22, shaved head, previously? Like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, what's whether we think it's good, bad, it shouldn't matter because it's not something you can change, right?
I mean, you can't change it. I've been balding for 5 years. There's medication you can take, get a hair transplant, right? Like, sure. I'm on finasteride. I take minoxidil. There's a shampoo you use called Nizoral. I have like a whole hair care routine, right? And I mean, I've got a fucking great head of hair, right? And you can also get a hair. You can fly to Turkey. You can do like an all-inclusive package with like a flight, hotel. You can get a hair transplant for like a few grand in Turkey, or you can get it done in the States. If you're in the States, it's like 10, 15K, right? Depending on where you live, you can get a hair transplant. I have tons of friends who've done it. And I mean, it makes you look significantly younger. You can also just shave your head and get pussy, dude. Some women are into that. Some women are into guys who don't have hair, right? If you're in great shape and you have a nice beard and you have good hygiene and good style and you have all these other things going for you, and you dress well, and you take care of your grooming, and even though you're bald, you're constantly shaving it and grooming it, and you look good. I mean, you could get a ton of pussy, man.
Yeah, I think you're speaking to the wrong guys. I think we're primarily like game guys, man. If you just get good, become attractive. You'll just work around whatever you got. You can. Girls will be attracted to. One of my best wings growing up was a bald-headed guy. You'd fuck a ton of girls. So it's an attitude thing. It's a behavioral thing.
Yeah, I knew a guy who was bald as well. I knew a guy who was bald, and he was like, I think he was like 30, and he was a Jehovah's Witness, and he lost his virginity to his wife. And he found out that his wife had cheated on him in the first few months of his marriage, right? And this girl, so this guy is a bodybuilder who's bald, and dude, he went from a 0 leg count to like a 300 leg count in 3 years. Like he was just tearing through pussy, man. And he was in good shape. He was a Jehovah's Witness, like white dude. He was jacked as fuck, but he was bald. He had no hair. Right. Yeah. And he slayed to pussy.
I would argue
it's an attitude thing, man.
I would argue if you're bald, it's more important than ever for you to be jacked and for you to have some facial hair. Not the being jacked is probably the most important out of those. So like I've seen a bunch of jacked bald guys crush it. But I haven't seen any bald guys who are like in bad shape crushing.
Yeah, if you're skinny, imagine being like a really skinny dude and you're bald. It just looks you look like a Buddhist monk.
Yeah, you look like a cancer patient, basically.
That's actually true. Both bald guys I'm thinking about were both in really good shape, come to think of it.
Yeah, so you definitely got to be in better shape, better dressed, maybe having a bit of a beard or something like that, right? You'll do well, right? But you don't want to be like bald and you're overweight or you're like super skinny, you dress like shit and you have bad hygiene and your game sucks.
Who's that super good looking wrestler like Randy Orton? He's bald. That guy, everybody liked that guy. Is like, he's like the biggest chat ever, dude. Bald headed dude.
There's that like British actor, I forgot his name. Jason Statham. Is that his name?
Yeah, Jason Statham.
Like, fucking girls love him, dude. So it's interesting how that works, right? Like the other thing too is just get a fucking hair transplant, man. Like just if you're really that worried about it, just get a hair transplant. I have friends that got hair transplants and they look significantly 5-10 years younger. It's great. I'll probably get one at one point.
All right, let's do 2 more questions. Any advice on lasting longer with sex mentally, not going too soft? Any tricks you guys use? 30 minutes to an hour, good. Yeah, 30 minutes an hour to an hour is perfect. Like you don't need to fuck her for like 3 hours. Like that's perfectly
30 minutes to an hour is like I heard
a
statistic that the average guy lasts like 2 to 3 minutes in bed.
Yeah, that's really good. 30 minutes to an hour is good.
You're like in top 2%, okay, at that point. So that's more than fine. So that's what you're doing. You'll
probably be in pain after that, dude. She'll be in pain going home sore, thinking about the next 3 days.
But a trick that I like to do is I'll alternate. If I feel like I'm going to bust too quick, I alternate between fucking her and eating her out. So that allows me to kind of like cool off a bit. So that's like a nice little trick. All right, last question. Actually, let's do this one because this one's interesting. Justin, what is the craziest thing you've seen in the club? Cheating stories, orgies, etc.
Well, just for reference, so I mentioned this earlier. I'm a club promoter, guys. So I'm out every Friday, Saturday, but sometimes go on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. So, like I'm out all the fucking time. I live down the street. Like I'll go out very casually. Like I'm going for a walk in my neighborhood. I'm like, oh, this club's open. Oh, I have friends there. I'm gonna pop in and say what's up, right? So I've seen a lot, but I mean, I've had orgies in the bathroom. I've had like I had a girlfriend who was bisexual in 2019 to. It was 2017 to 2019. I was dating this girl. We used to just pull girls in the Rebel bathroom all the time, like orgies there. It's good times. Even a couple weeks ago, I pulled a chick from the club from Century, and she was just down. Like it. Like
what's the crazy story?
I don't know if I really have a crazy story, dude. Like I've just done a lot. You know? I built like a harem with my club promoter list, like the girls I bring out. So like I had a couple of summers ago, I had like a sex cult, dude. I had like all these bisexual girls. They'd follow me around. They weren't like monogamous with me. I don't give a fuck who they fuck, right? And so imagine in their mind, they're thinking, this is so cool. I can fuck this guy. He doesn't care if I fuck his friend. He doesn't care if I'm a slut. And they're all bisexual. And we just go out and have like orgies together. I ended up having a 7-some with 6 women. That was like the biggest orgy I ever had. A couple weeks ago, dude, I'm like finger blasting a girl in the booth, like trying to make her squirt in the booth. Like I don't usually get that crazy and degenerate. I'm usually like just calm and tame. And I just like, I was very normal. It's very casual. Most of the time, it's not like this crazy, grandiose, fucking flashy thing, dude. It's usually just like normal. I'm like just like being normal and having normal conversations with women. See if I like them. See if they like me. You know. But yeah, things can get crazy at the club, man.
What about you, Scotty? He also asked, "What's your craziest story?"
Dude, I honestly, there's a ton. I don't know. I can't really think. I mean, I think a lot of them are pretty crazy when you just pull a girl right out of the club without even saying words, and then all of a sudden she's blowing you within 10 minutes of it. So something like that is really cool. I've had that happen a few times. I'll circle a club, high five a girl, literally eye contact, walk her, take her right out to the club, and take her right to my car, get a blowjob, fuck her. So I don't know. There's got to be something else. I've had threesomes, foursomes, but I don't know. Like, there's got to be something like that.
This guy mentioned like cheating. Like, I'm sure all of us have fucked a girl who had a boyfriend and we didn't even know. Like, I can't tell you how many times I fucking like let you smash like
unknowingly fucking
like,
wives that
later.
yeah.
You know,
but I don't think it's wrong as a guy to fuck a girl who has a boyfriend, or at least not that wrong. But I think it's a lot worse to cheat on your girlfriend. So I think that. But I guess my craziest story was probably in Prague, where all right, I'll just tell this real quick. So basically, it was me and 2 of my friends who were staying in this Airbnb, and one of my friends had a date, and so me and my other buddy were being a little creepy, so we're like, all right, I want to see this girl. So we kind of like creeped on them outside of Starbucks or wherever they were meeting, and we're like, damn, this girl's like fucking smoking hot, like really fucking hot. And so we had like a group chat, And so just like fucking around, right? I was like, yo, dude, after you're done, hook me up with this girl. And he took it seriously. So he texted me like 30 minutes later. He's like, yo, dude, I just finished fucking. All right, come home, come home. So I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. So I came back, and then he was like, all right, listen, just go in the room and pretend like you just forgot something. So I do that. And then fortunately it worked out because the girl spoke Russian. I speak Russian. So that was like kind of my in. And then within a few minutes, we started having sex. Like she was just DTF. So I had sex with this girl. And then as I finished, I see like a bunch of missed calls on my phone. So what I forgot was that I actually had a Tinder date myself coming straight to the place, and she's been waiting outside for 15 minutes. So I'm like, fuck. So I go downstairs, I greet her. And then at that point, I think the original guy goes back to having sex with a girl. So, and this is not a big place. So my girl hears the sex. She's like, what are you guys doing there? I'm like, nothing. But she was into it. She was like, no, like this sounds fun. Like I want to go see. I was like, all right, fuck it, whatever. Let's just walk in. I already had sex with this girl, so it's not even that weird anymore. So we walk in, and eventually basically an orgy starts to happen, right? And so one of my friends, so I had these handcuffs in my bag, but I didn't have the key. So one of my friends handcuffs the original girl, the 9 girl, right? He handcuffs her, and then she's like, at one point, she's like, my wrists are starting to hurt. Can you guys loosen these handcuffs? He's like, yeah, Alex, where are the keys? I'm like, dude, I don't fucking have the keys. So then this fucking girl starts flipping out because she's handcuffed, right? You know, and her wrists are hurting, and she's with a bunch of guys that she doesn't know, and one girl, I guess. So then I had to basically look up how to pick a lock. So I found that on YouTube, and I actually was able to pick the lock successfully. But yeah, that's like one of my craziest stories.
So fucked. That is actually insane.
Yeah,
I've had some stuff that I feel like I can't say on YouTube, or Alex will get like demonetized or something. I don't know.
no,
I don't want to say things.
Fine. Hey, Alex, what happened to the Seal Chan interviews? Is still available. Just have to answer this super chat. No, he asked me to take it down, I believe, and I honored that because he's a good dude. So yeah, I took it down on because he requested it. But yeah, cool. All right, I think we covered a lot of shit coming up on the 2-hour mark. So thank you guys for coming on. Thanks everyone for tuning in. You guys want to quickly shout out your channel so where people can find you?
Sure, man. Yeah. Scotty, GLL, ScottyWingman.com.
Yeah,
Level up your game, man.
I'm Justin Marc. Just Marc on YouTube, justmarc.com, or my Instagram is drunkjustin2. We'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys.
All right, boys. Thanks, man. Later.
Y'all.
Peace.
See you.